Cathaoirleach, and all of the euphoria surrounding the budget, I think I should put on the record monies that should have been going into social housing over the last number of years, and particularly during the tenure of this government. Indeed, the leader of our party raised the question of homelessness in the other House this morning, and that there had not been anything significant done about it. And in fact, the figures prove that there is something radically wrong about the government's priorities in this regard. There's been a massive fall in funding for local authority housing, voluntary and housing cooperatives and private housing grants. In fact, in 2009, the annual figure to local authorities was 670 million. This had fallen to 88.5 million this year. And in fact, when the government took over in 2011, the figure for local authority housing funding was 189 million, which was down from the two-year high previously of 670. But during the period of office of this government, it has now been reduced even from that figure of 189, which was a drastic reduction at the time on a year-to-year. It had gone down from 417 in 2010 to 189 in 2011, and the corresponding reductions across the voluntary sector, particularly the voluntary and housing cooperative housing area, which has proven to be a very, very significant contributor to providing social housing in Ireland. The figure in 2009 was 158. It's gone down to a measly 34 million this year. So they're the sort of realities of the figures that are facing the government, and despite or in spite of the spin they're putting on how wonderful everything is and about the amounts of money that are being given out, if we really do want to tackle the serious issue of homelessness, well then, although the Taoiseach said it wasn't about money, it is about money. I mean, if there was 670 million being given in 2009 and there's only 88.5 million this year, well then obviously it's got to be having an effect on the local authority priorities throughout the country in terms of what spending they have in order to address the issue of homelessness. So I believe that it is an urgent priority of this government to look at the funding mechanism and to say that you now have been dishing out money left, right and centre in terms of people who this very night, and particularly children, are not going to be having a bed in their own homes. It's a national scandal. And according to the figures of our party leader in the Dáil this morning, you're looking at 50 to 60 people being made homeless every month. In Ireland, modern Ireland, where the spin over the last 24 hours has been how wonderful we all are in government and how great things are, and we should all be down on our knees thanking the government for it. Could I finish on a somewhat lighter note, Cathaoirleach, and apropos the happy birthday wishes of Senator Heffernan to his mum, which I'd like to endorse. She and I share the same date. I emphasise date. But I would like to just say to Mrs Heffernan, perhaps she doesn't know this, that we share the 14th of October with some very distinguished people, not least Sir Cliff Richard and Eamon de Valera.
Senator Brennan.